Hi guys, what's up? Happy Friday and welcome to the Bougie Sports Podcast. I know it's kind of empty today, it's just me. When I decided I wanted to create a podcast, I knew that I wanted the episodes to be more timeless. So I didn't really want to talk about what was going on currently because I wanted you to be able to go back and rewatch the episodes or the podcast. So I thought maybe I'd try a segment where I do talk live, just about what my thoughts on some things that were going on currently. So happy June, everybody! It's kind of like typical June in Ohio, where we are not sure whether or not it's going to be hot or cold. May was pretty hot, and I think we're gonna have a pretty hot July and August. But we are right in the swing of fantasy football season. So this year is a big year for me. So last year, I really was not that much into fantasy because I couldn't be. I was finishing school and that was my focus. So I really did not put my heart and soul into fantasy football last year for the first time in a long time. But this year, I am back at it, and I am back at it with a vengeance. So, I have always been interested in playing dynasty football, dynasty fantasy football, but most of my drafts up till today have been redraft league. I always approach fantasy football like when I pick a team, that team those are my dudes, and I'm absolutely obsessed with them. So it's hard for me to hold a lot of different teams because at that point, then you start, going against the same people, and then it just gets tricky. Like then you don't know who you're going to root for on Sunday. And I kind of like going into Sundays having my clear players that I want to root for, and the clear players that I want to not see do that well, because that's another thing. If you get in a lot of leagues and you just can't love anyone and hate anyone. You just have to love and hate everyone, So I don't know. That's gonna be something different for me, carrying so many leagues. So also, I know when it comes to dynasty football, it's kind of hard to keep people, and you want to make sure that if you are going to invest your time into doing something like that, then the people that you are starting the league with are going to continue to stay in the league. So that's something else. 2 dynasty leagues so far, both done drafting with, which is another thing. Not used to drafting this early in the season. It's really, really, really getting to me because I don't know how you guys do it. So much can happen. So much can happen. So much can happen. I mean, it's so early. We don't even know what's going on in all the training camps yet. We don't even know what's going on. So to pick a team, you're really, really just you gotta rely a lot on luck. And also, in the dynasty perspective, I haven't really, researched the players that are at the college level. And in dynasty football, you really want to know what's coming up, or who's the up and coming running backs, wide receivers, because you're creating a team for the long haul, not just for that 1 year. So that changes things a lot. Where rookies are more important in a dynasty league than there would be in a redraft league. So, you've got to think differently when you're drafting the league. So I like that aspect of it too. It makes it fun. And I'm into all of it. I find it really. I wish that we could meet each other in person, because what I love most about fantasy football is the camaraderie, the friends that you make, and that being able to, talk little shit to them and tease them. It's all in fun. So I like knowing the people that are in my league. You become kind of like a family because, what goes on in your league, it's fun. So yeah, your league mates are important. So I am so excited to meet all you guys, if I'm able to meet you guys, and if I'm not able to meet the people that are in my league, I'm just excited to getting to know you guys better throughout the football season. So, all right. So with that, let's talk about the bowls. All right. So I am a podcast listener. I am an auditory learner. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about my fantasy football career. So I started playing fantasy football because I was dating someone at the time that was in fantasy football league, and that was all his focus. And I was interested in it because I was a bigger Browns fan than he was. I think I knew more about sports, and I wanted to be involved. So I kept asking, let me be in the league. Finally, they let me be in the league, and I'll never forget my first draft. It was in the garage of a friend's house. Everybody came, with the printout sheets at that point. Everyone had the sheets. Everyone was completely prepared. I wasn't prepared at all. Didn't really understand what I was getting myself into at that point because I don't remember which pick of the draft that I was, but I do remember who my first pick was, and that was Brady Quinn. Yes, because he had just been signed to the Browns, and I thought he was hot, and I picked him with my first pick. Everyone looked at me like, this is why we don't let girls in the league. This is why you're not in the league. You cannot pick up players just because they're hot. And I was just like, well, I didn't know. I was just picking up a quarterback. I didn't understand it. So I don't even remember how that year ended. But I do know that by the end of the year, I did catch on to how to play. Somebody learned how to play. And by the next year, I was off and ready to go. And, from then, it just became an obsession. Every year you go on, you learn different tactics. Every year you learn more about the game. You learn more about the players. You think of different strategies. And the love just grew and grew into me until, here I am. So as a longtime fantasy football player, I've always listened to analysts as far as to get advice on what to do. I am a fan of fantasy football. I do not spend my time going over numbers, analytics. I don't care. That's boring to me. That's not my job. I want other people to do that and do it well. And there's so many people that do that so well. That's why I watch so many people. I listen to them. I get their opinions because that's what they are opinions based on the facts that they have gathered from their analytics. And then I make my own opinion. And I think that's so important for people to do. I think when it comes to listening, whoever you listen to, the pros, fantasy footballers, Yahoo, CBS, any of those guys, they're all great. They all have good points, but they could be wrong. That's their opinion. It's up to you to take what they say and make the final decision on who you put in your lineup that week. So listening a lot, researching a lot, crazy charts and graphs that I make to keep myself. I don't know why I've been holding on to this whole time. It's my planner. I have everything in my planner. To keep myself on track. So in listening to podcasts for so many years, I've heard about the Scott Fish Bowl. But this year on Twitter, I started seeing the hashtag SFB13. Anyways, when I seen that, I'm like, okay, that's it. I am getting into this freaking Scott Fish Bowl. Like, I don't care. I am getting in because I deserve to be in. I've paid my dues. I've done it all. I deserve to be in the Scott Fish Bowl. So I honestly didn't think there was still time. So, but there was. So I went onto the website and applied. I think you go to scottfishbowl.com. Probably. Should I put the link? And I applied to be on that. And luckily for Scott Fish, he decided to pick me because I would find him if he didn't. Hi, Scott. Hi. Also going to do the Warrior Bowl, and I'm in the Biscuit Bowl, which is a best ball league. Never did best ball before. I'm like, look at me with all these new things. Dynasty, best ball, you know? All right, so once you get invited to the Scott Fish Bowl, then you have to pick your division, which the category, I guess, is foods this year and restaurants and chains. And I don't know why. I the first thing I did, well, somebody suggested that. I don't know, maybe it was Zach, that I should look at the logos or AVs, whatever they call them. And there were so many good ones. Oh my God. It was so hard to choose. I seen Los Pollos Hermanos there, and I really wanted that one because I love Breaking Bad. But I think it was filled at that point. But then I seen Taco Bell, and there was one spot left, and it was the 10 spot. And I was like, hey, what's meant to be is meant to be. So I grabbed the 10 spot in the Taco Bell league. Taco Bell, what's up? Number 10s. Joining the Fantasy Football Expo. Hide your kids, hide your wives. Here I come. Canton. Whoop, whoop. Excited about that. That should be so much fun. What else do I have coming up? I don't know. I'm going to do a couple of my own fantasy football leagues. Also going to be mock drafting with the Fantasy Pros on the 19th. That's this Monday, 3:00 Eastern. I'm not going to be on the show or anything. I'm just going to be the name in the mock draft. And I cannot be more excited. Do you know how many Fantasy Pros mock drafts I have watched in my life? And I'm always like, what? Now I'm going to be there. I have no idea what type of league that we're drafting. Oh my gosh. Here's the thing. I think my sleeper tag name is Bougie Sports. So that's what they're going to have to say. They're like, oh, Bougie Sports took Travis Etienne, which is kind of funny. Well, it's better than saying Yvette because I didn't want them to mess that up, but I don't know. So that will be so much fun. Hey, Fantasy Pros. Looking forward to mocking with you guys. Boop, 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 boop. I mean, I hope I can at least group chat stuff, if they make stupid choices or if I'm like, what? I want to be like, what the frick? Or, I don't know. They'll probably cut off my sound. So yeah, so I have that coming up. What else do I have? I don't know. I want to do a couple more podcasts with fantasy football people. So hey guys, anybody out there in the fantasy football community that would like to be on the podcast? Maybe some people in the Scott Fish Bowl. So we could talk a little bit about that, strategies, first timers like me, you know. I feel that I am just starting to feel comfortable on Browns Twitter that people are like, yeah, she's an actual Browns fan and they know my personality and they get me. And now I'm feeling like I have to warm up to the fantasy football community because they don't know my personality. And I joke around a lot and I probably say things that I shouldn't say. I have to prove myself to the fantasy football community. I mean, I was on the NFL Network. I did Fantasy and Friends. A lot of people know that. I guess the only thing I could do to prove myself in this community is win the whole damn thing. Let's talk about some quick Browns news. For me, I'm just so excited for the season. Can't wait for the season. The D-Hop noise, and I'm not really subscribing to it because I heard he doesn't like to come to practice, and I don't really want kind of players that don't want to come to practice. I'm looking for people that are ready to go. I mean, if he comes. I'll be happy, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over it if he doesn't. What else is going on? in the Browns, not much. Looking forward to tailgating. Think I'm probably going to go to the Indianapolis game, away game. What's coming up on the podcast? I have some really fun people coming up starting next week. So we'll be back to the same format, not just me. I promise there'll be other people here next week, and we'll be heading right into July. So I don't know. Nice catching up with you guys. I hope that all right, subscribe to me at YouTube at Bougie Sports. I'm on Instagram at Bougie_sports_Yvette, or the other way around. On Facebook and on Twitter. But I'm really trying to get people to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Alright, so what can I do to have you subscribe to my YouTube channel? Do you want me to